So today's topic is around Splunk observability. Nowadays, observability is in every organization, people are moving from that monitoring setup to observability. So it's like a monitoring. You can say 5 years ago, it's like everyone wants to set up monitoring. Now everyone is behind the observability part. So it's you can say it's a extended version of monitoring observability, and monitoring is like monolithic. It's like in last 5 years or 10 years, lot of things have changed. uh, the way we used to build our applications, we used to deploy the applications, we used to how operate the application. So that is totally different now. It's like right now, if you compare observability, why we are coming into talking about observability, it's like the way the application working. It's like one service we have in EC2, one service we have in Lambda. We have a lot of microservices. So it's like a uh, we have a hybrid cloud and all these things. So to understand like where we have gaps, where we have issues and all these things. So that's how we are talking about opportunities. So in the market, there are a lot of leaders. Splunk is one of them. So Splunk, if you have used Splunk earlier, so you can say like we used to work in Splunk for the logging purpose. So earlier they only have one feature called logging, and along with that, they used to have Splunk SIM for the enterprise security and ITSI. So right now they also have ITSI. It's like for the infrastructure monitoring. But now in the evolving world of observability, so they have bought seasonal effects. I think late 2018 or 19, and apart along with the AI signal effects, they have acquired a couple of other tools. Uh, Basically, these tools are the part of their observability stack. If you understand from the observability point of view, what all the things we are covering in the observability. So we are covering infrastructure monitoring, we are covering APM, application performance monitoring, we are covering digital experience monitoring. Okay, so it's like digital experience monitoring, like if I'm using any website or any application, let's say Facebook.com. So if my agent is here, that we say it has a real user monitoring. If that agent is there, it is going to monitor and it is going to say, okay, hey, there is some issue. When I'm clicking, it is taking long time, why it is taking long time, and all these things. So that is like digital experience monitoring. And if you have seen like we used to monitor URLs, right? We used to monitor ports. So everything comes under that digital experience monitoring. Then we have that AI ops solutions, AI ops like you can say ITSI. In ITSI, we have episode reviews. We have a lot of other things. Now, what teams are doing, like they are just sending uh, tickets to ITSI, and they are just correlating. They are creating episodes there, and they are just using that module, ITSI. And the same thing for log analysis. Log analysis, we are using Splunk, but in Splunk Observability, they have a feature. So what they have done integration with Splunk Enterprise or Splunk Cloud with Splunk Observability. So it's like you can correlate metrics, place, traces, and the APM application performance monitoring and the real user monitoring at one place. So that's a whole stack. So these all it's like they just want to bring everything at one place. It's like your IT team and engineering team can check all the issues at the same places. So that is a main goal of Splunk Observability. So if you want to check and if you want to test something or if you want to explore, so you can go to Splunk website. You can download. You can just select your region, nearest region, whatever you have, and you can go and you can just have a look. It's like you will get email and you can start using that. So let me show you how it looks like. I will jump in on that part. So I have created one instance for me for this demo part. So you can see here, this is a home screen. Over here you can see a lot of things related to training and all these things. Now it's like you don't have to go to any portal. You can just click here and you can just do the training part. And over here you can see integration. So these are the main four things. Like APM is like application performance monitoring. Then you can see infrastructure. Infrastructure is like your cloud infrastructure. When we do integration with the cloud, and when-way authentication with GCP, or you can say on-prem Unix VMs and all these things. And this is real user monitoring. It's we call it RAM. Then you have synthetic. Synthetic is like URL monitoring, port monitoring, that kind of things. Okay. So this is the home page. If I go one by one in APM, if you click, so you can see if I have done any kind of instrumentation. So you can see all those things here. So this is the APM screen, right? Right now I have this instrumented demo application. So you can see all these APM overview in this space. And if I go down, you can see all the services, whatever coming from here. So it's like we have this in demo application, we have these also checkout service, email service, payment service. And if we have any business workflows, so you will see over here. Okay, so this is the basic view. In the APM itself, you can see service maps. In the service maps, you will see the end-to-end flow of an application, right? So this is one of very interesting part. So if you see, this service map is all about how application is flowing. So you can see it is going from this application, this NY proxy to this service front end, and in front end to it is going to add, it is going to then checkout service. You can see here front end to checkout service, and from checkout to it is going to some cart service, and from here it is going to some other cards and all these things. So it is showing us end-to-end view of application, like uh, how my application looks like and how it is working. So we can see whole flow out of it, right? So this is the beauty of service map. This is how APM works. So this is just a front end of Splunk. So this is a back end. You can say like we are collecting from the Opentelemetry, and after that we are sending to this backend. In market, there are a lot of backends. You can use Jaeger for it's been free. You can test it out in Jaeger, and if you just want to try out signal effects, you can try out. You can take the trial, and you can use that. So this is the beauty of that. So this is how it looks like. I will cover before I will go into deep of these things. So I just want to show you how we have done that instrumentation demo, how you can do that way. Okay. So if you go to Google, just search for that Open Telemetry demo in a Docker. Okay. So we have a guide, right? So you just have to follow that. So I think this part we need a cloud Splunk Observability Cloud. So if you don't have, so you are if you don't either you can take a trial for that, or you can skip it. Okay, I'll say you can take a trial, and you can generate some logs here, and you can see that integration signal effects as well, and for the Splunk Cloud platform. Okay, so these steps are for the Splunk instance. Okay, and then we have to do this part. So it's like this is a git for the demo. Okay, so you have to follow these steps. If I go here, so you can see what all things here in this demo. Yeah. So in this demo, there are this is inherited from the Open Telemetry demo only. So it's like they just took the fork it, and they just have done some changes. If I go to under Splunk folder, so you can see a lot of files. It's like a Docker files because I just choose a Docker version for the demo only, and you can see there are a lot of config files. So this is one of the main file, hotelconfig.yaml file. Whenever we do run any Open Telemetry thing, so we have to configure this hotel call configuration. Over here, we do say, okay, hey, you have to uh, send the data, like you have to collect the data, you have to process data, and you have to send data to what location. Okay, so if you open this file, so you can see these things, like these are the extensions, like for the health checks. Okay, and then it goes come up to receiver. Receiver is like from where we are going to receive the data. So let's say I have Docker, right? In a Docker, I have if I'm collecting host metrics, so I'm going to see these host metrics of Docker in SignalFX when I will run this script, and I will just run this demo. Okay, so if I go here, and I can show you that infrastructure, you can see host is running. I'm running this thing into my local in local Docker, so you can see the Docker ID. So this is a Docker. So it is just collecting all the host metrics and all these things. So yeah, let me go back. And apart from that, let's say you want to collect anything else. Let's say in Docker you have some other Apaches there and all these things. So you have to add the receivers here for the Apache or any applications in this section, receivers. Then this is like receiver is like then OTLP. OTLP is one other receiver. It's in this receiver we are saying okay, you have to collect or you have to hear any data coming on these ports. So it's like right now it's been 0.0.0.4317. Whatever coming you are listening to 4317, you have to collect it, and after that you have to send it to third, you can say any backend. It signifies Jaeger or anything. And this is for the protocol. This is for the as APM is basically for application performance spans. So we are just monitoring this, and this is going to be uh, decommissioned soon. So they are in process, and this is a signal effects again signal effects receiver. So if I have to send anything to signal effects and on that, so it will send to 994 report. And this is Prometheus, again Prometheus receiver. In this Prometheus, like it is just collecting internal metrics. Let's say, and one of the use case I can share with you. Let's say Kafka. Okay, Kafka is like a SaaS solution now. Nowadays, Kafka everyone is in Kafka and SaaS, but they don't have any kind of receiver and all these things. It's not available. So what I can do? So this is the best way. So you can check on their configurations. Can we scrap the metrics using Prometheus? So you just have to copy this, and they will give some job name, or they can give some step configuration. Like for the Kafka, what I have to use, like I have to use a URL token and all these things. So I just have to add these add these in this way, Prometheus way. So we can scrap that. So that it's not necessary that every time we have the receiver available. The receiver are available, but sometimes there are some application they are newly migrated sites, but they haven't developed any receiver and all these things, so we don't have any kind of receivers available. So we have to make things using Prometheus because this is reliable and all these things. So and then we have these, we have Redis as a database for this particular uh, demo app, and these are all the receivers. Then we have processors, so nothing much in processor. So they are just inserting attributes. So they are saying okay, insert deployment dot environment, so as a test, right? And couple of other configuration. This is the main thing again. Exporter is going to tell us where I have to export the things. It means like what is the backend, what is going to backend. Okay, so you can see in this exporter section, so you have this OTLP HTTP. So I'm saying, okay, hey, this is the exporter, and you have to send to this backend. So right now, if I show you my actual configuration, so what I have used to send this data to this instance, let me open that file. Okay, yeah, yeah. See, so this is my endpoint. This is my end. Okay, so you can when you will log into this signal of instance, if you go here in this profile, or you can go to settings, in general settings, organization overview. Yeah, so over here in organizations you can see the endpoints. So you just have to copy from here endpoints, and you can just use. So there is a concept of realm also. So right now in this is my realm. This is AU0. Somewhere like if we have multiple, like in US we have a US0, US1. In a EU we have EU0, EU1, and something like that. So yeah, this is run like where is my tenant is hosted for this instance. So let me go back to my settings again. So I copied from there only. So it's like we have to use the ingest endpoint. So I just copied from here. From this is API endpoint, and this and real-time data ingestion endpoint. So I copied from here, and I just pasted here. Okay, so we have to just replace it. So this is one way. Otherwise, like you can make a variable for this traces endpoint and all these things, and you can just call it out. It's like you have to set the environment variable, and this is a token. So this is token is used for the authentication purpose. So if you go to tokens, access tokens, You can see these things. And the default, either you can create new, or either you can. It is not recommended to use default, but just for demo, I use this. You can see here, and you just copy it, and you can use that. If you want to, uh, if you want to just create new token instead of default, that is the best practice. So you have to create a token. So over here we have different kind of tokens. Okay, so for we can either create ingest token and API. We can either create a API token. Okay, then we can create ingest token. If you will see like this is they will say okay, either create ingest token. This is not a recommended way, but you can do that sometime, like this is a security issue and all these things. For testing you can do, but we always recommend okay, go ahead and just create a token with single role. Either it should be ingest or either it should be API. And there is third thing in token, you can see RAM token. RAM token is like when we have to use for the real user monitoring. So this is different. I will discuss about RUM part later. This is how you can take create a token. Let's say I have to create a ingest token. So I will say okay, Pune UGB test. Okay, so then we can give the permission and all these things, and we can say okay, expire it. Right. So now this token should appear here in the default. Okay, so this is our story of a token. So once we have created token, we will go back to this file, and you can see the token. We have said okay, what is the rel a0, and this is how our exported pipeline. So once all things has been created, then we have pipelines, like these are service pipelines. So where we have to define if we are sending traces, we are sending metrics, or we are sending logs. Right now I disable the logs because I don't have any Splunk cloud instance for the demo right now. But for the traces and metrics, we are just using the pipeline. So for traces, we have three things, very important critical things. We have defined what are the receivers, how we are receiving data, what is the processor, and what are the exporter, where I am sending. So receivers, you have seen our like we have OTLP, SAPM, and all these things we have defined here. So whatever receiver, either for metrics and traces, we have to define under this section, receivers. So we have defined it, we have defined as APM, we have defined this Prometheus and all these things, right? So Prometheus, you can say these are for metrics. So if I talk about this pipeline, in this pipeline, you will not see it is created for trees. You are not seeing anything like written like Prometheus on this traces pipeline. Right? But in metrics pipeline, I'm saying okay,
Rohit, just to interrupt. Are you? I am able to see only white screen.
okay,
Same
okay,
here, widescreen.
okay.
Yeah.
Uh,
Now is
no.
yeah. Now we are on the access token page. Yeah.
Okay, okay, okay. Let me check. Check. Let me share again. Entire screen on the tools. Now fine.
Yeah. Now it's even the code black page.
That's the code, right?
Uh,
Next page also fine. Okay, cool. So I was explaining that code. Sorry, thanks, Rafiq. So I was explaining about the same code what I was going to get. So this is I have created in local the same copy, and I have modified based on my requirements. Okay. So right now we are not using logs. So I just disable these log section. Okay. And over here I was showing like we have to where we have to send my traces. So it's like I have just sent okay, this is my instance endpoint, and this is a token. So you have to send to this endpoint, and you have, for authentication, this is a token. And after that, these are the pipelines. Pipelines like we have to define. This is a forward from the Opentelemetry. So we have to follow these things. So if I have to enable traces, if I have to export the traces, I have to export the metrics and logs. You can see these things. So right now, I just disabled these log section. Okay? But for the traces, I have these pipelines. So in the receiver, we have OTLP because we have a communication from our internal host to our Open Telemetry collector. It's like OTLP communication. Okay. So we are just receiving everything on OTL, and this is a receiver like as APM. So this is for the APM for the tracing. So this is a receiver we have defined in the receiver section. If you see, if we go above, so this is as APM. So we are saying okay for the APM. So our endpoint is going to be this. We're just defining it, okay, for the APM part. And if I come down for this is just a health check, Jipkin and all these things. And then these are the processor. Okay, what if we have defined different processor like memory limiter, batch, resource detection, resource adding on. So if I go to processor section, so this is kind of you can think about transformation thing. Over here we do transformation. If you compare from this Splunk, so we have props.conf, transform.conf, where we do some kind of tweaking, and after that we will send data if I have to drop anything and all that. So that kind of same thing we do inside this receive processor section. If I go above in processor section, you can see I'm
Rohit,
saying
one
okay.
question just to stop you. The question is the pipeline section where you are. Can you come on the bottom, please?
Yes.
Pipeline
Yeah.
section. Is this pipeline referring to a metric dimension? Uh,
Pipeline, no.
okay. Okay. So
This
there is no
is
dimensioning, right, for any metric
no.
or how? Okay.
Yeah. So this pipeline, we are saying this in Opentelemetry. We use these pipelines to send or you can say export the data, or we are just defining like what we need to do, like how from where I have to receive, what I have to process, and where I have to export. So you can see
Okay.
three parameters. So these are the three parameters for the collector for the collection part: receivers, processors, and exporters. So
Alright,
these
got it.
are
Thank
three
you.
components. Yeah. We'll cover in maybe next session.
Rohit, one more thing from me. I just wanted to know on the application. I think this is a demo application as well, right? Maybe Java or
Yeah,
something. I'm not sure.
yeah.
Um, uh, on the application side as well, how you've used OpenTelemetry protocol to instrument the application to be able to send the logs to Signal FX, or maybe to first to Open Collector and then OpenTelemetry collector and then to Signal FX. Something that I
Uh,
wanted to see if you have that.
yeah. Yes. I will show you that as well. So okay, so let me finish this, and after that I will show you that. Okay. So
Sure.
this is a pipelines for the traces, metrics, and all these things. So we have done configuration for the traces and metrics, and we are saying, oh, hey, please collect the data, and after you have to send to this protocol exporter OTL based HTTP and signal effects, and the metrics is going over the signal effects exporter. Okay, so these are the sections we have created on the hotel config. Now my Docker is already running, so let me try to show you Docker. Um, Let me go back. Okay, are you able to see Docker? Yeah.
Yes, Rohit.
So you can see in a Docker, this is the Opentelemetry demo, and I have these many services are running. Okay, so one of the service which are running, collecting and sending data. If I click on hotel call, okay, you can see the logs. It is collecting and it is sending to forwarding to uh, our site in SignalFX site. So you can see all these things. If anything is not working and all these things, you can come here and then you can see. In actual environment also, this is how you can see. So in logs, you can see it's like in if you using Splunk universal folder for deployment or any other way, so you can see in a while log Splunk, and it creates hotel.log and all these things. You can at least see like why it is not working. Sometimes let's say if I have done any misconfiguration, okay, so let me do one thing, okay. Let me just uh, play with some indentation over here. Okay, let me save it. Now if I restart, so the collector it will not come up. Hopefully. See, it is not working. There is some issue, so it is keep restarting this collector. If I go back, so it will keep restarting. Telemetry collector. So our logs will not go out. So you can see over here it's not green. It's just changing colors from green to yellow and all that. So there is error. So this is a very crucial thing. If I just go back and I will change it and I will save it, and if I restart it should work now. Okay, so this is how you can do the troubleshooting, and this is how you can just have a look how things are working and all these things. So let me come back to that part, APM part in Splunk. So this is a backstory, you can say. So how things are coming to uh, backend, whether it's a Jaeger, any other external vendor, or whether it's a Splunk Observability. So let me go back to that screen. So in this screen in APM, you can see all those processes. Okay. So now how you will see the what is going on. Okay. So let's say this is a service map. Over here you can see the whole service map and all these things. So you can see how much time it is taking to talk to this particular from NY front end to this particular front end. So how much time it is taking. So you can see this way. Okay. So you can see what over here if yeah, you can see this. Okay, it took 107 milliseconds. Then it is coming from this to when it is going from this particular front end to card service, how much time it took. So you can see on almost 51 milliseconds it took. Okay, so this is the whole view. Now if I have to go into granular level, okay, so you can just click on traces here. Okay, so you can see all the transaction happening on this particular application, all the trace IDs and all these things. Okay, so what I will do, I'll just take the one which is taking more time. So last 25 minutes. Okay, let me take this trace. Okay, so if I open this trace, okay, so I open this trace and you can see it is showing me some properties and all these things here, right? So you can see this is a overall flow. It's a waterfall, right? So from this unknown service envoy, it went to front end. It posted some API checkouts, and then it went to checkout service. Then it went to card service, and over here it tried to connect to some well key card and all these things, and then it went to checkout service. Then it went to product category and all these things, right? So you can see all of these things here, like how applications float, like how user has done activity on the application, and you can see how much time it is taking from going from one application, one call to other call. You can say when I am in this service and then I try to post and all these things, so you can see it took almost 2.5 seconds. Okay, if I have to drill down, okay, from here how much time it took to check out service and all these things, so you can see everything is mentioned here. It took 2.5 seconds and it took 104.7 millisecond on this. So this is one thing. And other way to see these things, performance on these things, you can see here in the spans. So you can see all the spend distribution, how much time, which workload, how much, which service is taking, how much time, and what should be the average, and you can see based on this why how it is helpful, right? So now our question is how it is going to helpful. Now you are a developer, right? Do you know how much this particular API should take time? Like it should take 1 second, it should take 30 seconds, and all these things. Okay, so this is a one-stop solution for developer, and this is a one-stop solution for the operation teams. So how our operations IT ops works, like okay, hey, this is not working. Why it is not working, and where it is not working, we can easily identify. So I just have to go through these services. Okay, I should know, okay, I got alert, this service is not working. I can drill down if I have any error and all these things. So based on that I can do. And for the developers also, they can also figure out, okay, when I'm going in checkout service taking for example, this load generator is taking 2.52 seconds. Why it is taking 2.52? So it should be like, it should be within 1.5 seconds. So we can fix our APIs and all this. We can just have a look in you can say granular level, like at what point it is taking. So if I click on this particular one, yes,
Right, quick
anyone?
question.
Yes, sir.
So I'm assuming that had you enabled the logs and if you also had application logs, then from here on, if a developer really wants to see
Yeah,
why did a service call like take 10 15 seconds or whatever
yeah,
milliseconds, and because there may be a problem with the payload which the receiving side or the backend was not able to process. There
yeah.
obviously is a log, detailed log, in terms of why things are going wrong when they go wrong sometimes. So
Yeah.
I'm assuming that that kind of thing is also possible from here, where you click and then you get to the bottom of a log.
So it's like when it is integrated, so you can see those logs also pop up here. Like right now, it's not integrated anything, so
Yeah.
just demo, so it's zero. But you can see from where it is coming, right? We have an infrastructure coming in, so it is saying, okay, from here, I have an infrastructure here, and
Okay.
my infrastructure is connected. So you can see this is host for the load generator. If I open this, you can see for this particular time frame. So what are the levels for this particular, what is the CPU, what is the instance CPU percent, what is the memory and all these things, right? So this is how we can correlate these things. So I
Okay.
can say, okay, hey, you are a operation, let's say you are operation team, and you have to identify something, okay? So you have seen some error at this point, and you have seen this in APM, right? So you can see, okay, let's see the if do we have any issue in our infrastructure. You can come back, you can see, okay, in this service, okay, let's say error is, we are seeing error in this particular service, okay. I can say, okay, I will click here and I can say, okay, this is a host, let's see what, do we have any issue in a CPU, or maybe do we have like a storage issue and all these things. You can just click here, it will open the new tab, it will open the host related issues at particular time. If we have any, you can see specs, you can just have a look, you can go through these boards, and after that you can say, okay, hey, there is no issue in a host, or hey, there is issue at this particular time, my CPU was at 90%, or my disk was almost full, so maybe that is one of the root cause. Okay, so that,
Okay.
that is how you can just define these things whenever we have logs. So logs also correlated. So for to correlate the logs, we have to do some tricking on the logs as well. So if you see something, okay, if you notice here, so we have something called trace ID, right? This is the, you can say this is a movie for this particular uh, scenario, or you can say this particular session. This is a movie, and if I click on any other these services, you can see it will not change. Trace ID will never change, and you can see span will come into picture. So you can see these are the scenes on the movie.
Yeah.
So what happens when you have to you will enable the logs, and after that whenever you enable the logs, so we have to append these trace id and span id in our logs as well. So let's say your event is abc, at the end you should have trace id and span id, so it will automatically correlate with these apm. Then you will see apm trace id and logs correlated with this particular service. So we have to work on that part as well for the logging correlation and all that. So that is how it works.
Okay.
Okay, so this is one of the use case I was showing. So let me show you like how error and all these things looks like. Okay, let me go back and let me search for some errors. Okay, let me search if we have any errors. Let's say last 4 hours. Okay, so I have. So this is one of the places where we have some errors and all that. Okay, so you can see in this particular flow, so we have that envoy ingress and it went to front end. There's some issue in this current currency service. Okay, so I want to know what is the issue now. So you can see there is two ways. You can just check here. Okay, do we have anything coming up and all that? But if you go to errors, so you can see what type of errors and what is the root cause analysis we have. So we can see these root cause analysis as well. So why it is not connected and all these things. So we have these two types. What is error? So you can see that error issues and all these things. So why this error happened and all these things. So this is just dummy, but in your actual environment you will see those errors. So is there any configuration issues, or is there any Java related issues? Sometimes you push the code and there is some issue in indentation, code is not working, or there is some issue. So it will show all these error messages. Okay, hey, this is error. this error came due to this particular issue. So this is how it works. Okay. So this is about that APM part, and this is how you can go ahead and you can just have a look on these different services, and you can, if you are a developer, you can have a look. If you are a IT ops team, support team, you can have a look, and you can just identify, okay, where we have a root cause issue. There is one more thing happens, like right now I don't have setup for the real user monitoring, but if your application has front end, right, card service, and it's like you can just imagine uh, Amazon, right? When you do any transaction, when you go to Amazon and when you are just choosing a product, and after it is you are adding to cart and you are doing checkout and all these things. So that session is also recorded in RUM. So that's like real user monitoring. So we just monitor that, and then we do the front end and back end correlation as well. It's like in the real user monitoring, I can see the session of that particular website, and after that I can, if you go to that particular session, it will automatically correlate what is the front end, what is the back end, and based on that you can see, okay, when I clicked this in the front end, at that time back end it is connected to these things, and over here we have these issues. So this is how we can correlate from the front end and back end. So for that we need some app where we have UI and all that. So that is how it works. So this is about the APM. Before I will go ahead, any questions, please?
Does this also have any workflow action for any concerning issue with respect to any section of that? Just like for case card services it got failed, do we have any
Yes,
kind of mechanism for
yes, it will
ITSM kind of,
automatically.
or you
Yeah,
can
it
need
will.
to route it to a Splunk?
No, it's like a. So this also have a. So it's like a. It is full package of it. It's like let's say if you have any issue, so there are out of the box alerts available whenever any errors come up for any service and all these things. It will send you alerts. So in Signal effects, or you can say Splunk Cloud, we say it is like a detect query behind it, or you can say some signal flow language is there, so it is just saying, okay, so it has detected some activity or some change in service frequency. So it will go. The answer of your question is like, yes, we can do that. So most of the things are out of the box. So it
I
will
think
trigger
you need to connect the. So in this, whatever you are showing that span of low performance, right? So all this thing we have to design with the help of development. We got the log
no,
and we have to design, right? Or do a
no, no,
development activity to make it, or it will be automatic.
it is automatic. So we don't have to do
Uh,
anything. It's automatic feature. So it's a waterfall.
okay, got it. Thank you.
So we don't have to design anything here. So I was talking what, see, in the recommendation service over here. So we have some error, right? So how I can do, what is the root cause and all these things. You can see over here we are getting some exception message. So maybe this is the issue. So you can easily identify, okay, hey, I got issue on this, but I got error on this particular service. So I just want to dig in, okay, what is happening and all these things. You can just click on this and you can see these things here, why it is happening. So this is how
Right.
you can check. Yes, okay, so
Right, things like the gateway, for example. I mean, if there is like an API gateway and stuff, are they also required to be instrumented or not? I mean, how would we measure a delay or a latency happening on the gateway? Is that also covered
we
here?
have to, yes, we have to instrument them. So it's like there are two things. So either we can instrument, or it should be like inferred service. So what this Opentelemetry does, uh, it tried to find out, okay, where it is going, and it tried to see the inbound and outbound services. So whatever service you will configure, you can see granular level information. But for the service which is not whatever it is connecting, let's say it is going to any API gateway, maybe it's a Mule, or maybe it's Kong, or any other gateways. So it will go there till that point, and it will give you metrics. Okay, hey, there is some issue and all these things. You can see, but from the com where it is going, it will not show you. So
Okay.
that is because we need to instrument all the components.
Okay. Right.
As of now, I think Splunk released some auto discovery services. So it's like you just have to send it
Sorry,
and it
just
will.
one more thing. What is meant by instrument here?
Instrument is like you can say we are enabling tracing. It's like we have to add open telemetry SDKs, or we have to add packages. So that is how we do instrumentation. It's like this is
Okay.
instrumentation. It's like
Okay.
we just
Thank
want to know, okay, if you are doing anything. So if you are just clicking any process, if you are just doing anything, so what is happening? So we need to know that. So to get these things, these traces and all these things, so we need to instrument that. I think there is some question from Divya. So
Yeah, Rohit, this is with regards to open telemetry failure.
yeah,
So,
okay.
what like do we have like any other measures where we can handle this as a like fault tolerance? Because I see as a like single point of failure if we are managing one collector and routing the traffic through it.
Yeah, so it's like this is just for the testing purpose, but when you do any enterprise level deployments, okay, for that we should have some different model. It's like if you are aware about the load balancing, or if you are using Splunk, right? So we
Mhm,
for this Splunk indexers, we have multiple indexer and all these things. Same way, we do have for the open telemetry, we have a model. It's like from your application, it will go to some load balancer. In behind the load balancer, we are going to have 10 servers which are going to collect the data, and it will go to any backend, signal effects and all that. So it is the same model. So we call it a gateway model. So then we can avoid the single point of failure. So that is how it works.
okay, so we have to define those configuration within collector only.
Yes, so you have to define those configuration with in the collector only. So it's like there is a model called agent to collector. So it's like agent is like your host machine where you have application deployed. So we need open telemetry collector configuration there as well. Then it will send to our collector. In collector, like we are going to receive those things, and then it will go to our backend. So maybe I have something for you.
Hmm.
So if I show you uh, deployment.
This method you have is not through agent, or is it through an agent? The
It's
OTel
agent.
agent.
Yeah, it's hotel agent.
Okay. There is
So
something that I want to share with everyone. I don't know if others know. The Open Telemetry agent and the App Dynamics agent cannot coexist. So if you have one already working in your environment, then you cannot have the other.
yeah, it happens with Dynatrace as well.
Okay. I
Yeah,
don't know
I
about
have.
Dynatrace, but
Then how come they are like putting forward this that we support open telemetry? I mean, if anyone using enterprise level solution, uh,
That, that is why in a CNCF this year, so that's what they were explaining. So what they are saying, okay, hey, if you are claiming your observability tool, so you have to follow the standards, right? Whether it's a Splunk, whether it's a Datadog, whether it's a 10 other tools or any backends. Okay, so you have to follow the standard, right? So slowly you will see everyone is going to use open telemetry only. So they have standards. So then there is not going to be any kind of issue connecting to any backend. So how it works, Divyans, is like if you are going to use open telemetry, right now, right? Let's say you are using X backend. Okay, let's say you
mhm,
are using Yether. Okay,
mhm,
but tomorrow you have to use uh, some other vendor, or you can say Signal Effects. You want Signal Effects, you like the UI and all these things. So you just have to change the exporter. You don't have to do change any configuration. So you have to go to your gateway, and you just have to change the exporter to Signal Effects. That is it. So in enterprise, you don't have to do any kind of change. You will deploy open telemetry once only, and after that, if you have to, if you have to change your vendor, your partners, or whatever you can say, or any backend, you can do it in on offline. That's why the CNCF is developing these standards. So
makes
slowly you
sense.
will see in next couple of years this is going to happen. That's why they are claiming, okay, hey, we do support open telemetry and all these things. Right now, a couple of vendors, they have their own agent, and all. The Signal Effects also used to have their own agent, but now they totally moved to open telemetry. So earlier we have to the way we are adding units of order now in all the servers, same way we have to use that Signal Effects agent. But now that's been replaced by open telemetry.
Okay, so I see it as a like challenge also when I mean in couple of companies you may have seen that uh, container based platform is more keen on to open telemetry. Okay, and now they have enterprise level setup for like observability or similar AI of solution. We can say they are leveraging. They have already procured like big licenses. Okay, now what Keshav highlighted that I see as like challenge. So they are saying on other hand that they are supporting open telemetry, but at the same time, if they have like conflict, okay, I see that like challenge because it's not necessary that for all the uh, all different verticals within an organization gonna like follow the same paradigm for having observability setup for their application or whatever stack they are handling. So in that situation, I see it like as a challenge for having a centralized observability.
Yeah,
Yeah.
correct. So this is it's been early days, you can say. Right now, it's open telemetry project is also not graduate. So I think this year they are going to graduate this open telemetry project. So, but if they are saying, okay, hey, we are going to make it available for observability tools, so they have to follow the same standards. So they are, it's like all the companies, if you see the contributors on this open telemetry, so all the big companies you are naming, so everyone is contributing here. So it means like CNCF is pushing these to everyone, okay, hey, you have to follow the standard of open telemetry. Slowly you will see the question you have about, issues like agent of the vendor and all these things, it will go. So they will say, okay, hey, you have to move to open telemetry only. So this is what I have seen for the with the Splunk. Splunk is totally moved out from the signal effects using. Now they are using open telemetry, and you will see the same thing with the other vendors or other backends as well. But it's like over the time. You can say
Yeah,
next 1 year or 2 year it will be done.
yeah.
Okay,
Thanks,
so
Rohit.
we were talking about this one. So you have you are talking about some load balancing part. So this is the architecture. This is how it works. So let's
Mhm.
say this is your application, right? Open telemetry application, and we have open telemetry SDK, and it is sending data over the OTL protocol. We are going to have a load balancer, okay? And you can see in the backend we can have EC2s or whatever setup you have. You have on-prem hosts and all. You can place 10 EC2s and all these things. They will collect the data and they will just send it back in. So this is how it works.
Yeah,
So this is for the environment for the enterprise level environments. Okay. Yeah, this is
got it.
all about this APM piece, and this is how it looks like and all that. So before we will wrap, I think we are at on the time. So we'll continue these things in next couple of sessions. So any other questions or anything? Okay, cool. So we are